So laying on your back on the mat, pull your feet in and plant your feet down on the mat. Then just gently lift your hips up slightly. Inhale through your nose. And then exhale, slowly lower the bottom of your spine back down to the mat. Hands down by your side. Inhale, gently roll up just to mid-back. So just your lumbar or lower spine is lifted off the floor. And then exhale, lower. Really paying attention to the telescoping of your spine. Inhale, gently lift one vertebra off the ground at a time. And exhale down. This time, as your low back settles down into the mat, keep it there. Gently draw your left and then your right knee into your chest. Just sway a little bit side to side, making some subtle, very small movements. Notice the weight of your legs helping to press down and ground your hips. Rolling across your low back from hip point to hip point. Top of the iliac crest on either side. Slow down the movement, come back to center. Flex your feet, start to lift them up. You're gonna reach up, grab the outside of your feet with both hands, and then trying to lower your low back down. Gently pull down on your feet. If you can't grab your feet, you can use a strap to assist in happy baby pose. And then you can take that strap and just bring it across the bottom of your feet like so. So it's kind of around the middle of the outside edges where it will most likely hit, and you can use your hands to pull down that way. Now, a lot of times we have to roll up to maybe get that initial contact with our feet. So if you rolled up or you maybe lifted your hips off the ground, do your best to lower your whole spine back down. Feel your knees graze the outside of your ribs, the inside of your knees, or maybe even thighs. See if you can lengthen the back of your neck a little bit longer. And do your best to let the entire weight of your spine, so from head all the way down to your hips, be rested on the mat. Now, start to bring a little bit more activation into this pose by pressing your feet up. Now, as you press your feet up, you'll have to pull a little bit more with your hands, but you might notice that your low back starts to flatten out and it can reach the ground a little bit easier. Exhale all of your air out. Inhale through your nose. Filling up through mid, upper ribs all the way to your collarbones. Keep lips sealed. Slowly exhale out your nose. Relax your shoulders down. Again, inhale through your nose. Feel it fill in your navel, and maybe also help again bring that pelvis down, fill up through diaphragm, mid ribs, upper ribs, into collarbones, holds. Exhale, slowly release. One more time, keep pressing your feet into your hands, hands down into your feet. Breathe in through your nose. Feeling your entire chest cavity slowly fill from hips up to shoulders. And then release. At the bottom of your exhale, let your hands slip away from the outside of your feet. Bring them down to just below your knees and draw your knees in together. Pull your knees up into your chest. Take an inhale here, feeling your ribs compress into your thighs. And exhale. Just notice your body, the weight of it lying here on the mat. Shoulders heavy. Feel as though you were a seed, a little tight ball of energy, ready to be planted, ready to blossom and grow. Notice all of the potential from this small, compact shape. Slowly roll to one side. Gently press yourself up. Coming to sit down on your hips, we're going to move into Padangusthasana, or fire log pose. This is a little bit, actually. Let me just lower this camera a little bit so you can see my legs. There we go. A little bit better. There we go. Nice. All right. Padangusthasana, fire log pose. So we kind of pulled our hips wide, but you really feel that stretch on the inside. So now we're going to move to a stretch. It stretches the outside of our hips. Right shin parallel with front of your mat, foot flex, and then left shin over top to stack. Making sure that you get the outside ball of your ankle onto the inside of the knee and that the top foot kind of hangs over the edge. Scoop back both glute points, or glute area, so you feel those points rooting down. And always an option to extend the bottom leg or take a figure 4 variation. All right, feet flex, sit up nice and tall. And then bring your hands down to your side, tenting your fingertips or tenting your hands so fingertips ground down and palms are up. Draw shoulder blades up together and then let your elbows have a gentle bend in them, but use your hands to support a nice, strong, long, stacked spine. So we touched briefly, I think it was last week, on the chakra or the energy points along our spine and really how much stacking those points can invigorate and start to open up the energy highway. You can think of it like that, the nadis that run along the left and the right side of your spine. We're going to do a breathing practice called Kapalabhati breathing, which is a short, quick exhale through the nose. And Kapalabhati breathing is a really great way to start to take that energy. So right now you can imagine your energy kind of pooling at the very base of your spine and start to just activate, almost like you're boiling it, right? So think about the elements, a little alchemy here. You're boiling that water and it starts to become vapor and rise. So that energy is going to start to bubble to activate up your spine and really gather right in the front of your head. So third eye center. So traveling from the first chakra point to the 6th, and then maybe out the top. All right. So continue to sit up nice and tall. Keep those feet flexed. Keep pressing the pads of your hands down into the mat. We'll exhale all of the air out. And then inhale through your nose. Full inhale. Feel the belly, diaphragm, chest, rise all the way to the space of the throat, and then exhale out. Now to prepare for Kapalabhati, breathe in just halfway, and then start sharp, quick exhales through your nose. Now, as you exhale, you'll feel your navel snapping back towards your spine. So you got some heat starting to build there, starting to cook that energy. You can find your own cadence, so if mine is too fast or too slow, just adjust yours. If you have some seasonal allergies, you might need to find a tissue, blow out anything that's starting to come out your nostrils. Join us back here. The inhale is going to come naturally, so just focus on pressing out. We'll do another 20 rounds. I will count, don't worry about it. And we're going to finish with Uddiyana Bandha. We'll go through this 3 times on each side, so if you don't get it right the first time, don't worry. That's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Open mouth, exhale, all the air out, hold on empty. Seal your lips. Pull your diaphragm down into the space of your digestive organs. So just a little bit of what it looks like. So Uddiyana Bandha is, all right, and then release your belly and come into a natural breathing. So I'm going to demonstrate that again. We're going to do this 2 more times on this side and then 3 times on the other side. So you've got a lot of time to practice this tonight. So Uddiyana Bandha is a lock. And so it's locking right at your diaphragm or your solar plexus. And so what that does is it's going to harness the energy here. It helps press out and kind of move the blood around the digestive organs. So this is what it looks like again. Your inhale. You'll open mouth, exhale. And it creates a vacuum, a void. And then you'll release your belly before you inhale. All right, so we're going to do that a couple more times. Now, if you do have like glaucoma, that creating that pressure isn't great. Or if there's something else that maybe you're working with right now health-wise. If Uddiyana Bandha is not in the cards for you tonight, then you can simply go back into Ujjayi breathing or just the inhale and the exhale through the nose. Okay. Let's do 2 more rounds of Kapalabhati breathing. So stack your spine, resituate yourself. Notice how maybe your knees got a little bit closer to each other. All right, inhale. Exhale all of the air out through the nose. Inhale 1/2. And then start quick exhales. Really feel the activation, the pumping in your abdominals. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Full inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Feel your lips. Find Uddiyana Bandha. Your chin might drop slightly towards your chest when you find that little lock. And once you get that, see if you can lift your chin just slightly as though you were pulling that lock up. Then again, relax the belly. Take an inhale. Exhale. Inhale 1/2 breath capacity. And last round on this side, Kapalabhati. And just worry about finding your rhythm. Don't worry about matching mine. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Inhale. Open mouth. Exhale for Uddiyana Bandha. Find that lock. Then release your belly. Inhale. Return to Ujjayi. Start to unstack your legs and gently extend them out in front of you. Notice if you feel maybe a little bit more energized than when we started. You feel that energy kind of moving up your spine into the brain. This is also called skull shining breath. So that's how I always remember. It's like, right at the front of the brain, right? That 6th chakra point. And let's set up left leg parallel with the front of your mat, foot flexed back, middle of that calf lining up with middle of your pelvis, and then take the right leg over top. Scoop the glutes back, sit up nice and tall. Once you've got that situated, ground your hands down on either side of your hips. Press finger pads down. As you press the finger pads down, it's also going to just give yourself a little bit more of an anterior tilt in your pelvis. And then it'll also help to keep this front knee a little bit more forward. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale 1/3 of your breath capacity now, just a little bit less air in there. And then start Kapalabhati breathing. Maybe closing your eyes so you can really focus on the navel snapping back towards your spine. So you can focus on the energetic movement that's happening and let some of those other senses that really dominate our day, like vision, start to drop back into the background. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Inhale. Open mouth. Exhale for Uddiyana Bandha. Releasing before you take the inhale. Exhale completely. Inhale 1/3. Kapalabhati breathing. Again, thinking about the heat that you're creating in your torso, starting to create that energy, that spanda, right at the base of your spine. Thinking about that liquid vaporizing, rising up your spine, starting to rise all the way up into the 6th third eye center, chakra point, energy center. Maybe bringing a little bit more clarity, wiping away some of those thoughts that have been clouding your day that don't serve you. Push them out. And last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Inhale for Uddiyana Bandha. Open mouth, exhale. Push all those thoughts out. Harness your energy. Harness your energy for yourself so that you can then serve your community. Gotta take care of yourself first, right? Gotta put the oxygen mask on yourself before your child, before anybody else that you're traveling with. Release. Last round of Kapalabhati. Make sure your feet are still flexed. That knee is dropping down. Inhale. Exhale. 1/3 breath capacity. And sharp, quick exhales. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Last time. Inhale for Uddiyana Bandha. Open mouth, forceful exhale like a gale wind. Hold on empty. Pull your diaphragm down, or rather up into your lungs so that it presses out and suctions all of the digestive organs against your spine, clearing out all of the blood. Then relaxing your diaphragm, allowing the blood to flow. Take an inhale. Exhale. So much breath. Good stuff. Unwind your legs. Let them just gently shake out. Give yourself enough room on the mat that you can have both legs extended forward. Now you may or may not want the strap for this next posture. This is kind of a funky one. It's called Akarna Dhanurasana. And that is archer's pose. So we don't do this one very often. It's kind of a little bit funky. We'll start actually all with the strap. You're going to take the strap around your left foot rather. Reach down with your left hand and grab that strap so both ends of the strap. Find a little forward fold. Keep holding onto that strap, and with your right hand, find the outside of your foot. Start to bend your right knee and pull that foot back as you start to sit up. Then lift your foot up and imagine that the bottom of your foot was like a telephone. See if you can bring that big toe to your ear, like you're just talking to the bottom of your foot. Now you can loosen up as much as you want to on this strap around the left foot. You can imagine that this is a lot like half happy baby, but pretty extreme as you pull the right foot back. Now, from here, start to lengthen a little bit more your spine so you're not rounding down to talk to your foot, but instead you have a little bit more lift still through your spine. Lots of work on that bicep, the right leg. Take another inhale and exhale. Slowly release. Bring that right foot down. As you fold forward, take the strap now, bring it around the right bottom of your foot. Take both sides of the strap in your right hand. Just gentle forward fold to start. You can have a little bend in both of your knees if your hamstrings aren't quite there to get your legs flat. And then reach down with your left hand. Find the outside of your left foot. Lift up enough that you can straighten your back. And then bend your left knee as you start to pull the left foot back. Again, you can let your right hand slip a little bit down the length of the strap and then start to sit up. Pull the left leg back. So again, Got almost like a half happy baby pose. Bringing that big toe towards your ear. Funky, awkward shape. Notice if it's a little bit frustrating for you, if it's a shape that your body's just not quite used to. And instead of getting angry, like, I don't look like that. I probably don't look like, if you search this on the internet, this pose. Instead, get a little bit curious, like, where is it sticky in my body? Where am I feeling some limitations? Can I move my breath maybe back into that space and then up my spine to stay tall, even if that means that this foot is a little bit farther away? Am I breathing? Everybody take another breath here. And then exhale, slowly release. Bring the left foot down and extend it long. Move the strap off to the side. Hands on either side of your shins, lift up halfway in Dhanurasana, or Dandasana, staff pose. And then exhale, fold. Trying to keep your spine straight. Again, you can have a little lift or a little pocket underneath your knees. Inhale. Exhale, maybe crawl your fingers a little bit more forward. Inhale, think about lifting and straightening your low back. Exhale, fold. Walk your hands maybe a little bit more forward. Again, last breath here, really working on a straight back. And then as you exhale this time, you can find some rounding in the spine. Hands can come down maybe to feet or shins to give you a little bit more leverage as you press yourself into this fold. If your blocks are close by and you'd like something to rest your head on, you can always place them over your knee or your shin. Especially if your forehead is not close to a knee, which mine is not. Another deep breath in and out. And inhale, slowly come all the way up. Nice straight back. And then using your hands underneath your knees, just gently guide both knees up. Being gentle with your body tonight. Being curious. Accommodating your limitations, acknowledging them. Slowly start to lift your left foot up, rocking back so that you find some balance on those hip points. Then bring the other foot up for a Navasana boat pose. I prefer to take boat pose with my toes flexed back because it keeps my legs active, but some people prefer pointing their toes. It gives them a little bit more of like dancer background thing. So decide tonight, do you like point or do you like the flex and toes spread? You can keep your hands behind your knees to give yourself a little bit of lift, or challenge yourself to lift arms straight up. Maybe it's just one arm at a time. Gazing about 2 feet above your toes. If you'd like to, you can straighten your legs. Again, notice if your low back starts to round, and then dial it back down if it is, so that you can find that posture and hold it in your boat pose. Navasana. More inhale. Cross your ankles, and then exhale, slowly roll forward into all fours. So just sway your hips a little bit side to side. And then tuck your toes, extend your legs, coming back into a plank position. Inhale, rock forward, and exhale back. Drawing your navel up and in to support you, pressing your upper back in towards the ceiling or up towards the ceiling. And then the next time you rock forward, bring your left foot forward outside your left hand. Gaze forward, inhale. Exhale all the air out, rock forward. Bring your right foot forward outside your right hand. So feet forward outside of your hands. Turn your toes out and slowly lower down into Malasana. Hands together at heart center, using your triceps or your elbows to press your knees wide. It can be low, it can be high. But you want it to be a little bit comfortable. We're gonna do some Malasa walking from the front and then to the back of our mats. So if you are not at the front of your mat, make your way there. Gaze forward, and then slowly rock side to side, going all the way to the back of your mat. Woo-wee. Opening up and burning out those quads. Then you're going to plant your hands down. Couple options. You can either lift up into a forward fold. You can take a quick crow pose, maybe tapping toes together, or you can clap your feet. So hands down about shoulder width distance apart, lift up, clap your toes. That one's just kind of a little bit fun. Also, getting off those legs adds a little bit of relief. So you might find you're a little bit lighter on your toes tonight than you might have otherwise thought. All right, now slowly make your way back to the front of your mat in this Malasana walk. Once you get there, place hands down, either forward fold, crow pose, or toe tap. Crow pose, just rocking forward, tapping your toes, come down, and walk yourself back to the back of your mat. Whew. Plant your hands. Choose your leg release. Even just going into that forward fold, extending your legs will give you a little bit of a blood rush. All right, back to the front. Ooh, maybe just taking that wide leg forward fold to the back. Last flight option. And then come to the middle of your mat. Plant your hands and bring your knees down. And then spin, pivot on your mat. So you're facing the long direction. Take your mat and fold it up. Now, if you have a very thin mat and you're practicing on a hard surface tonight, you might want to fold your mat in thirds. Otherwise, just half might be sufficient. Bring your knees down onto your mat and start to walk your knees out wide as they will go. Once your knees are set down, so the inside of your knees are really resting on your mat, you're going to bring your feet out. So you can see as the camera angles down the length of the bottom of my leg, my knee and my ankle line up. Foot is flexed and the inside of your foot, the arch of your foot is pressing down into the mat. So this is called prone frog. From here, come down onto your forearms. Maybe if you can, walk your knees a little bit farther out and then just a little bit forward, a little bit back. But what we're aiming for is really hips in line with our knees. So if you go too far forward, that's actually how we'll get out of this pose. So you don't want to do that because that is going to ease the sensation. Instead, I want you to push back a little bit more with your hips so you're really pressing into that edge. Once you find your edge, start to slip out of the physical sensation of your body and more into your breath. Have you been using your breath to guide yourself into this position? Letting the movement sync up with the initiation of each inhalation and each exhalation. Typically, our movements, especially big and explosive movements, occur on our exhale. The inhale brings the energy into our body, spanda, life force. And the exhale is when we take that energy and transform it into movement. So in a pose such as this, where you are holding, you have a lot of energy, just kind of building. Your exhale is what guides you a little bit deeper into that edge of your flexibility, to that edge of your limits. Your eyes are closed. Slowly open them. Bring your hands under your shoulders, and you're just going to slowly lower yourself all the way down onto your belly. Straighten your legs. And then lift one leg up in towards midline and the other leg up. Woo! Then press your hands up so you can come back to your knees and let your mat unfold. Slowly come back facing the front of your mat. Tuck your toes, lift up into plank. Bend your knees generously, press back, downward facing dog. Let the crown of your head drop down. Begin to walk yourself, not in malasana, just straight leg walk forward to the front of your mat. Okay, press your feet down. Inhale, lift up halfway. And then exhale, lower. Keep your arms wide. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Reach your arms up overhead. Woo! Feeling that in the armpit. Wow. Exhale, hands down to heart center. Also, first time we've been on our feet this class. We've done so much work though to get here. Inhale, arms up and wide. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Straighten your spine. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands and step both feet back. Inhale in plank pose. Exhale, lower knees down, chest and chin down. Inhale, pull, drag your belly forward onto the mat, press the tops of your feet down, and inhale, rise up, cobra pose. Low or high, whatever feels good on your low back tonight. And then exhale, tuck your toes, keep your knees down, shift your hips back, and then press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left foot high. Exhale, step your left foot outside or inside your left hand. Step your right foot in a footprint and over to the right side of your mat, and then ground down the heel to midline. So your right toes are pointing out to the right, setting up for warrior one. Reach both arms up. Commit a little bit deeper into the front knee. Press through the outside edge of the back foot. Stretch your arms up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, bring both hands down to the inside of your front knee. Keep grounded down through that thigh. Walk both hands to your low back. Now this is another spot where it can be good to have a strap in between your hands, like that, if it feels too tight and restrictive to interlace your hands at low back. Inhale. Exhale, let your chest drop down to the inside of your left leg, and then start to lift arms up overhead. Any amount. Again, using the strap here is great if you have an obstruction in your armpit, or if you have just really tight shoulders. Another inhale. Exhale, release the strap. Bring both hands down to the inside of that left leg and step the left foot back. Inhale. Exhale, lower knees down, chest and chin down, booty up in the air. Inhale, slide forward onto your belly, press your feet down, rise up, cobra. Tuck your toes, exhale, back, knees grounded, and then lift up, down dog. Inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, step your right foot forward by your right hand. Left foot comes in one footprint. Ground your heel down towards midline. Bend generously into this front knee and inhale, rise up. Low or Virabhadrasana 1. Gaze is forward. Pulling that right hip point back. Left hip point forward, making sure that your feet have the space for the alignment of your hip. Inhale. Exhale, bring both hands down to the inside of your right foot. Moving into humble warrior on the second side. Move both hands up to low back. Start to feel that heat building in the right front leg. Either interlace fingers or grab your strap. Relax the crown of your head down. And slowly start to work arms up, overhead, any amount. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale, slowly release, bring both hands down to the inside. This time, heel toe your right foot out to the right side. Hands are in the middle and step your left foot forward, coming into Malasana at the front of your mat. All right, from here, place the hands down on the mat. We're going to move into crow pose. You want your hands a little bit wider than shoulder width distance apart. So shoulder width distance would be about here. I like to give myself a little bit more space. And then lift up on your heels, off your heels rather, and bring your toes closer together. So they really line up. You can see from this front angle, hands and feet are really in the same plane, running parallel, same track. And hands come down. Bring your knees just to the outside of your triceps and squeeze in. Then move your gaze forward about a foot from the tips of your fingers. And as you start to shift forward, pull one, maybe both toes up off the mat. Your toes are off the mat. Bring the big toes together to touch. Keep squeezing in on your triceps. Lengthen your spine as long as you can forward. The weight is really in your butt and your legs here. So you gotta counterbalance that. Bring feet down. Find a forward fold. Straighten your toes forward, heels back. Generous width between your feet and hang and dangle down. Bringing your feet in, hip width distance apart. So drop both fists in between big toes. Bend your knees. Inhale, come up. Utthita chair pose. Bring the weight more into your heels. Maybe even lift your toes off the mat. And then start to lift your gaze up. Inhale. Exhale. Can you sit down and back a little bit more? All right, now lifting your left leg up. Flex that foot, come into a figure four. Setting the outside of the ankle just above your right knee. Bring your hands down to heart center. Sit down and back in your hips. And bring your hands down, one hand to the bottom of your foot, One hand to the inside of your knee, gently working a little bit more opening on the outside of your hip. Now bring both hands to that left foot. Start to stand upright. So you're holding that foot. You're going to take that foot, bring it to the inside of your thigh or your ankle for Vrksasana tree pose. Now you can keep holding on to that, or keeping a nice active standing leg, let go and use that friction, that pressure from the bottom of your foot into your inner thigh. More activated your leg is, the better compression and friction you'll have there. Inhale, start to raise arms up. Stack your spine. Lift your gaze if you'd like to. You can cactus your arms out to the side. Deep breath in and out. And inhale, arms up. Exhale, bring them through heart center. Draw your knee forward and step it down. All right. Wiggle a little bit side to side. Then feet hip width distance apart. Bend your knees. Inhale, Utthita chair pose. Again, shift the weight back. Lengthen your tailbone down. Lift your gaze up. Keep the weight in your left leg. Lift your right knee up. Flex the foot. Place the outside of the ankle just above your knee. Sit down into figure four. Slowly let your hands drop down. Right hand to the inside of the right knee. Left hand to the bottom of the foot. Keep your foot flexed. Sit down and back. Gently guiding that hip a little bit more open. And both hands come to your foot. Lift it up as you press through the standing leg and place that foot into Vrksasana tree pose. Hands up to heart center. Maybe overhead. Maybe cactus your arms. Full balance. Hands up through heart center. Bring your knee forward and step it down. Alright, so now I'd like you to find your strap. You don't need a loop in your strap, but if you do have one, you can just leave it in there. We're going to be using the middle of the strap. Gently throw that strap over one shoulder. We'll grab it when we need it. Feet hip width distance apart. Come back into Utthita chair pose. Sitting down and back. Keep the weight on the right foot. Lift your left knee up and place it in figure four. Bring your hands down to heart center. And then hands down inside of thigh or inside of knee, bottom of your foot. And then bring both hands to your feet. Stand, carrying your foot up with you and placing your foot in Vrksasana tree pose. Option to take the traditional Vrksasana, or if you'd like to, you can bring the outside of your foot up into the hip crease. When I do this variation, I usually have to keep one hand grounded. Raise one arm up or take a half bind, either finding those toes or finding the elbow of the hand that is holding the foot in place. Either way, spine is stacked, chest is lifted. About the energy pulling up from your grounded right foot. And then you have a bind or hands raised. You'll lower that. Find your strap. And then release that foot and bring the knee forward. Flex your foot. Take your strap in both hands. Bring it across the bottom of your foot. One hand on either side of the strap. Start to stretch that foot forward. Now, right away, you might notice that that hip is hiked up. See if you can lower it down. Take both sides of the strap into your left hand. So left hand, left foot, right hand to right hip. As though you were pivoting on a hinge, start to bring that foot out to the left side. Now, you can have that foot be lower or higher. The strap really gives you a lot of options. And if it's very windy in the room that you are right now and balance is a little tricky, you can always come down and move this towards a wall to use the wall as a little bit of stability. If you'd like to extend the right arm out to the right side, you can do that. Continue to breathe in and out very steadily through your nose, even if you come down, even if things get wobbly. And slowly bring the left foot back into center, and then take the strap, grab it with your right hand. You're going to keep that foot reaching forward. Take your left arm and extend it back, gazing now out over the left side. So looks a little bit more like this. So moving from the shoulders instead of the hips. So bring that hand back. Pull your knee in. Kind of just like that creepy, crazy archer pose at the beginning. And then release it down. What was that pose, right? I mean, the beginning. That pose was Utthita, Hasta, Padangusthasana, or one hand to foot pose. All right. Throw your strap over your shoulder. Come down into Utthita, arms up, feet grounded. Then keep anchoring down through the left foot, right knee up, flex those toes, come into figure four, hands down. And drop one hand down to your foot, one to the inside of your thigh. Gently open your hip. Continue to breathe. Move both hands to the foot. Slowly standing up. And then taking that foot, placing it in the same tree variation that you did on the second round, other side. You took a bind or raised arms up. Take that. Find as though you had roots growing out through your grounded foot, stabilizing you in the earth. So that you're pulling that energy up, feeling it wrap around your strong, engaged foot and leg. Slowly release. Draw your knee up, foot down, flexed. Grab that strap, bring it across the bottom of your foot, one side of the strap in each hand, and extend your foot forward. Breathing here. Find some stability. Shift both sides of the strap into your right hand to left hip. And then as though you're swinging your leg open on a door, hinging open, pull it out to the right side. Keep a little bend in your standing leg so that you have the flexibility to move with the subtle shifts. Maybe extending your left arm out. Slowly bring it back into center. Find the strap with your left hand. Keep holding your leg up. And now Using your shoulders, start to draw the right shoulder back and extend the right arm behind you. Continue to breathe. Slowly come back forward. Bend your knee in. Whoop. Archer pose. And then relax both feet down. Let the strap drop to the side. Open your feet out wide. Start just taking some big orbiting circles with your hips. So you were doing a hula hoop through honey. Slowly moving and rotating. Feeling that femur head roll in the hip socket. And then pause, go in the opposite direction. If one spot feels especially good, allow yourself to linger there, maybe rolling a little bit forward and back. And then slowly make that orbit smaller and smaller until you're standing. Hips at center, palms forward, and then inhale, reach them up slowly. Woo-wee. Star pose, and then exhale, arms wide, come forward, bending your knees as you come into a forward fold. Keep your feet wide. Inhale, take a halfway lift. And then rolling on the balls of your foot, lift your heels up so toes are out. And then walk your feet into a malasana. If you're not facing the back of your mat, then pivot so that you are. And then reaching your arms forward, rounding your back. Enough so that you can gently set your booty down. Woo. If you'd like to, you can always bring your hands back behind you for that final fall. And then lower down. Pull your left and then your right knee up. And you take happy baby one last time, reaching for the outside of your feet and pulling your knees down. So elbows are to the inside of your knees, knees are out wide. Press your hips down, gently press the back of your head down. Pull with your hands, but actively press through your feet too. And then you can start to let the amount of energy between hands and feet become a little bit more relaxed. Inhale. A little bit more relaxed. Your heels start to drop down. Inhale. And exhale, really relax so that your feet win and come down to the floor. Your arms drape out to the side and then extend one foot and then the other into Shavasana. Your toes drop out, heels in, palms of your hands open up to the sky. Start to feel all of that bubbling energy begin to condense. Pulling in from your fingers, the surface of your skin, back along your spine. And then finding those naughty channels, those highways of energy, let them condense and drop down the highway back to the base of your spine. All of the little droplets pulling back in together, forming a little pool, forming an ocean of energy. endless amount. An ocean from which you can draw from, and an ocean to which you can reconnect, recollect, defragment, and pull yourself back into. A vast ocean, but also just one tiny little point. Both invisible and infinity. Take a breath in from the bottom of your spine, from that ocean. Pull it up to third eye center and back down. As though your breath was like the pump of a well. Inhale, pull that water up to third eye, and exhale, let it drop back down. Start to feel that energy reinvigorating your body, maybe even coming to the surface of your skin, your fingers and your toes. With each inhale, pulling and drawing from that energy up and down the length of your spine. And then making small movements, gently bend one knee and then the other. And slowly roll to one side. And gently press yourself up. Finding a comfortable seat. Maybe your hips feel really nice and open. Pull hands together to heart center. Remembering that your energy is within you and it's yours to give. So if you ever feel pulled in too many directions, pause. Imagine that energy coming back in and down so that you find strength and potency, so that you do not feel diluted. And then consciously decide where you are going to put that energy out in the world. Slowly draw your thumbs up to third eye center. Be curious. Follow your bliss. Namaste.